One of the biggest mistakes people generally make, and I'm guilty of it too, is wishful thinking.
We don't have enough time for me to list all of our failed experiments, but the big winners pay for thousands of failed experiments.
I learned one thing. No matter how strong an elephant is, if you're an ant, if you hide yourself well, an elephant cannot kill you.
Want to be happy? Build a life, not just a business.
Living that believing life, out here living that believing life. Every day we living that believing life. Hustle like we living that believing life. Living life, yeah, so we grinding it out. Every single day we be grinding it out. Hustle like we living that believing life, oh, that believing life, oh.
Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and this channel was created to help you overcome the #1 challenge that is holding you back, a lack of belief in yourself. You watch these videos because you know there's something more inside you too. You have Michael Jordan level talent at something. So today, let's live your best belief life and learn some of the best lessons from successful billionaires. Okay, let's kick it off with lesson #1. Don't be afraid to fail with Jeff Bezos.
By the way, getting it wrong isn't that bad. That's the other thing. When we make mistakes, and we've made doozies like the Fire Phone and many other things that just didn't work out, we don't have enough time for me to list all of our failed experiments, but the big winners pay for thousands of failed experiments. So you try something like Prime, and it was very expensive at the beginning. It cost us a lot of money, because what happens when you offer a free all-you-can-eat buffet? Who shows up to the buffet first? The heavy eaters. It's scary. It's like, oh my God, did I really say as many prawns as you can eat? Oh. And so that is what happened. But surely we could see the trend lines. We could see that, you know, all kinds of customers were coming and they appreciated that service.
Lesson #2, don't rely on wishful thinking with Elon Musk.
I think advice, I mean, if you want to make progress in things, I think that the best analytical framework for understanding the future is physics. I'd recommend studying the thinking process around physics, like not the equations. I mean, the equations certainly they're helpful, but the way of thinking in physics is it's the best framework for understanding things that are counterintuitive. And you know, always taking the position that you are to some degree wrong, and your goal is to be less wrong over time. I think one of the biggest mistakes people generally make, and I'm guilty of it too, is wishful thinking. You know, like you want something to be true, even if it isn't true, and so you ignore the things that you ignore the real truth because of what you want to be true. This is a very difficult trap to avoid. And like I said, it's certainly one that I find myself in having problems with. But if you just take that approach of you're always to some degree wrong, and your goal is to be less wrong, and solicit critical feedback, particularly from friends. Like particularly friends, if somebody loves you, they want the best for you. They don't want to tell you the bad things. So you have to ask them, you know, and say, really, I really do want to know. and then they'll tell you.
Lesson #3, have a competitive advantage with Warren Buffett.
What are the key indicators you look for within companies before making an investment?
Well, I look for something that does give them a moat around it. We have a company called See's Candy out on the West Coast. See's Candy is boxed chocolates. If you give a box of See's chocolates to your girlfriend on the first date and she kisses you, we own you. You know, I mean, we can raise the price tomorrow and you'll buy the same box. You're not going to fool around with success. So the key there is the response. You do not want to go home on Valentine's Day and say to your wife or your sweetheart, preferably they're the same person, you don't say, here, honey, I took the low bid. It doesn't work. Price is, to a degree, is immaterial. If you've got an economic castle, people are going to come and want to take that castle away from you. And you better have a strong moat. You better have a knight in that castle that knows what he's doing.
Also, if you want to have more self-love and confidence, check out my 254 series. They're free. The link to join are in the description below.
If everything has to work in 2 to 3 years, then that limits what you can do.
Become so skilled, so vigilant, so flat out fantastic at what you do that your talent cannot be dismissed.
There are just times when something is important enough, you believe in it enough that you do it in spite of the fear.
Lesson number 4, change your thinking with Jack Ma.
The African desert, African green is the ecosystem is not controlled by lions and elephants. The ecosystem is controlled by the insects in the mud. Last century, the company, the bigger the better. So everybody wants to be a big company, the powerful company. This century, from now on, a good company is more important than a powerful company. When you compete with big company, in past 20 years, we've been competing with any company, lots of companies in China. But I learned one thing, no matter how strong an elephant is, if you're an ant, if you hide yourself well, an elephant cannot kill you. You can kill the elephant if you're in a better way. It's about your thinking.
Lesson number 5, set boundaries with Oprah Winfrey.
When I first started making money, I was one of those people who thought, every time somebody asks me, yeah. So
go crazy.
You go crazy. You have to look within yourself. What do you want to do? That means family members, because you get a lot of cousins.
Cousin, you didn't know you
wait
had.
a minute. When you get the Van Jones show, all of a sudden you get cousins calling you. So you decide for yourself. And so I have, I've given away so much that people don't know, because most of the time you don't hear about the people that I've helped. So people complain about what I did or didn't do. Y'all don't know me.
Don't know.
You don't know me. I do.
Yeah.
I do, and God does. So I don't have any.
Let me get one more.
I have all of that very much in check.
And lesson number 6, the last one before a very special bonus clip, is study success with Mark Zuckerberg.
There's this culture in Silicon Valley that kind of makes startups seem glamorous. And I never really believed that, right? I never had a goal of starting a startup. And my goal when I realized that I had a company was to get it to be a good company as quickly as possible, right? And kind of get out of what you'd call the risky startup phase, where you are just constantly about to die, and where you could get to a point where you can actually do some interesting things and make a lot more interesting bets. And so I don't know, I never read a lot of the literature on this. And I mean, maybe if I had, then I wouldn't have made so many mistakes. So I don't know if learning from me is the right way to go on this. But I mean, but it did, I think
your model must have come from somewhere, though, even if it was unintentional, right? Like, were you influenced by Peter Thiel or Sean?
Well, yes, I was influenced by all these people once I met them. I hadn't really heard of Peter Thiel before.
I'm
Sean
talking about
me.
Yeah, right.
But I mean, he was massively influential on my thinking, right? I mean, a lot of the early lessons that I took on how to think about strategy came from Peter and Sean. And I did pay a lot of attention when I was growing up to Microsoft. I grew up, using, Windows 3.1 and then Windows 95, and I just thought that those were the most unbelievable things. And
in a sense, they are.
Yeah, they really were awesome, right? Well, I don't know if you meant that positively, but I did. And I thought, building this ecosystem was really neat, and that kind of inspired me, right? In the way that they built a platform, I kind of thought, okay, well, maybe one day, the tools that I'm building can be part of a broader ecosystem as well.
Now I have a special bonus clip from billionaire John Paul DeJoria on how to be an eagle that I think you're going to enjoy. But before that, it's time for the 3-point landing questions. Let's go from just watching a video to taking action. Here we go. Question number 1. Who are 3 successful people who you can study this week? Number 2, where do you need to set more boundaries in your life? And number 3, what's the potential failure that you need to stop fearing? And if you made it this far in the video, I want to celebrate you. Give me a hashtag believe down in the comments.
When God created this planet, He created several species. Now, if you're an atheist, it's okay. Call it the force. Let me just say God for now, so I don't have to say God, the force, God, the force. Let's just say God right now. God creates the planet Earth. And first of all, He creates, which a lot of people in different organizations want a perfect social economic world where everything is free, you don't worry about a thing, you're taken care of. There's no extra imagination necessary because it's all going to be given to you. So he creates the oyster. He says, oyster, I'm giving you a free house to live in. I'm calling it a shell. I'm going to put it at the bottom of the ocean to protect you from your enemies. You have food, clothing, all the food you want, protection, everything you want, the perfectly taken care of while you're in your measly little life as an oyster, but you're not going to go anywhere. You stay there at the bottom of the ocean, but you're totally got your free food, free clothing, free everything you want. Then God created something called the eagle. Eagle, whole different species. Eagle, you want a house, you go out and build it. Take the top of a mountain, take the top of a tree. Go out and build your own house. You want some food to eat? No problem. Go out there and find it, eagle. And the eagle flies through miles in the wintertime of rain, sleet, snow, and wind just to feed its young. Did you know the eagle fails 95% of the time? A total failure. It's so big and cumbersome that when it comes upon its prey, they're wild. They shoot off in a different direction. And it misses. 5% of the time it succeeds. And what does it succeed to do? It succeeded to be the strongest bird in the sky. The only one that we know of anywhere in the world that could fly into the thermals of a hurricane and ride them to have fun. Now the eagle, unlike the oyster, can go anywhere it wants. Anywhere it wants. Yeah, it gambles, it does this on its own, but it goes wherever it wants. Now that eagle, and not the oyster, is the emblem of America, and also on the flag of many, many countries. You wouldn't be in this room right now if you weren't eagles. Don't only imagine, start doing it. Thank you. Peace, love, and happiness to all of you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
If you want to know 5 pieces of life-changing advice from monks and gurus, check out the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.